That means your wife, if you don't take good care, if you don't listen to me, you're going to lose your wife. Mark it on the wall.
Hello there, God bless you. Thank you for coming. This video is the third video I'm doing about this man and okay, the second video I'm doing on this man and Bushiri. The first one, if you have not watched it, I will ask you get it here. The one I did where he was telling Bushiri to remember where he got his power from, and here he is literally accusing Bushiri of being the one that murdered his daughter. Though he is not speaking it in the sense that Bushiri probably had a hand in the death of the daughter, but he was saying that Bushiri ignored his advice. He gave him advice. Actually, in that other video, there was something he told Bushiri to do that if he does it, that will stave off problem. He accused Bushiri of making mistake by running away from the law in South Africa. You know, when he jumped bail, he said the day he heard that Bushiri was running away, or that Bushiri ran away from South Africa, he sighed because he knew that Bushiri was going to have problem. And in this video, he is claiming that he was the only person that was supposed to tell Bushiri the truth. Every other person around Bushiri was never, telling him the truth. He said he that was more qualified, more suited, and by his position as the most powerful spiritualist in the whole world, Bushiri refused to take his advice. Now, my concern on this is that, you remember there was the other video that I uploaded where the man went to a particular church to go and fetch the God he gave to that pastor there. Pardon me for calling that person pastor, and pardon me for calling that place a church, but just for your own understanding, because I don't know what else to call it. Yeah, the person was running a church and he confirmed it. He affirmed that actually this man gave him that God, for him to have a big church in Kumasi, even though he claimed that the thing did not work. But actually the day that the man visited, he was asking him, you told me that there were no crowds here, but look at people here. And so he insisted he was going to get that God that day. And to my surprise, the young man confirmed that he gave him God, and went to where he kept the God, and they brought it and handed it over to the man. So when I saw that video and I saw this man talking, that was what aroused my interest, in listening to him, because, I said earlier on that there are so many people who can come up and claim one thing or the other. And so, but this man in that part, in that area, as far back as, maybe 10 or so years ago, when that incident in that church happened, he claimed that he had about 1,600 pastors whom he had given his occultic powers. They use it for church, and as at now they have increased to about 4,900 and something. All right, so I wouldn't know if his angst against Bushiri was stemming from the fact that Bushiri knew him, Bushiri knew his clout, Bushiri knew his onion and onus, and he refused to heed to his advice, because actually he counseled Bushiri. And part of my worry here is that he has also told Bushiri other things that he must do, that if he fails to do that, his wife too will be the next to die. And he might put a mark on the wall and say, mark today's date, that if Bushiri refused to do that Bushiri's wife, Mary, was going to be the next in line to be buried. And so I'd like you to watch the video, and part of it I'm not going to actually finish everything that he said, but then look at the video, and I'll be coming back in the next few minutes to summarize. I'll see you at the end of the very places I want to play. God bless you. Thank you for being there. In Jesus' name, I'll be seeing you. Amen.
Yeah, good morning once again. I want each and everyone to share this video. I want this video go viral to the world to see Ainanoko Kubuns and the powerful spiritualists always tell the truth. I'm saying that Bushiri is the one who killed his daughter. Yes, I said it. Somebody may ask, why Ainanoko Kubuns you are saying this? On the 11th of March, I do video, I talk about Bushiri, and I say your daughter, it needs something. So you, Bushiri, yourself, I show you something to do, otherwise you're going to lose your daughter. And I was expecting for you to do it, but you didn't do it. On the 11th of March, I warned you several times that your daughter is needed. It's more important than everything in the world. If you have money and you don't have anything that can make you to be happiness in life, it's nothing. You see how your daughter loves you? You see how she sits behind you? You see how sometimes she lets you to be happy? Now, where is she? Now, where is your daughter? I'm not happy at all. I'm crying. The day I hear that your daughter is dead, I know the powerful spiritualist. I was crying because Bushiri, you didn't listen. You think you are God, you are not God. Let me tell you, you think you are God, you are not God. You think you have money. Money cannot buy a soul. You think you got powers. Your powers cannot save your daughter. You think you have command. Your command doesn't save your daughter. I'm sitting here crying. Look, did you see? I'm crying. I'm a man. Look, my eyes. But I crying because I love you as a brother. I love you as a brother. But you didn't listen at all. I want each and everyone to share this video. For Bushiri to see, for he to hear, for he to understand what I'm saying, what I'm telling him is truth. I'm not joking. And this is no blowing of horns. Where is your daughter, Bushiri? Where is she? Where is your daughter? You are sitting down there. You're always going to cry and cry and cry and cry. The crying cannot solve the problem. But you yourself, you don't take advice. That's why I said, you don't take advice at all. At all. At all. At all. You don't take advice. In my house, I was there and I said, Bushiri, on the 11th, if you don't take good care, you're going to lose your daughter. On the 11th of March, you're going to lose your daughter. I was doing Facebook Live. If everybody says I'm lying, go to my Facebook page and play the video over there and listen to all what I said. Bushiri didn't understand. I used to hashtag Bushiri, and I know some of the church members are going to tell that Bushiri, I told you, those people, those your guys that they follow you front and back, some are fool and foolishness. Some of them are fool and foolishness. They didn't give you advice because of your money. They can't tell you the truth. Those lying, those blackmailing, those do stupid things. Why? If you're doing something which is wrong, they need to tell you that what you are doing is wrong. Look, this earth, you have a big name. If your daughter birthday, you buy a nice car. Your daughter go, the car is there. If you lose all your property and your daughter is still there, it's very good. It's most important in the world. But now, you lose your daughter. You don't have you lose your daughter, your property is there, but your property doesn't save your daughter. The money that you get it cannot save your daughter. He passed away, and you have some of your back. I'm not talking about the church members. I'm talking about those people who are closer to you. They are not good people at all. You have to sack most of them because they didn't give you advice. The person who going to give you advice, Bushiri, you didn't listen. I know the most powerful spiritualist in the world. I'm somebody who is not. I'm not scam. I'm somebody who doesn't blackmail people's mind to take their money. No. But I always tell the truth. If I die today, if I die tomorrow, hallelujah.
Yeah, this very phrase was very common in the last video that he did. He was trying to exonerate the young child from the troubles and the problems of Bushiri, and here he seems to like saying that the child was innocent and she shouldn't have been involved in the crossfire. You know, this man is an occultist, and he prides himself as the greatest, the highest spiritualist in the whole world. And so this is my concern, because it seems like Bushiri has contravened some laws in the spirit, some of their laws in the spirit. Now, from what the man and the way the man has been speaking, you know, to Bushiri, there seems to be a kind of connection, some kind of affinity, some kind of understanding that exists between the two, or you know, whatever number of persons they are in their group. And so here he was saying, when you throw a stone at the wall, remember it will bounce off on you. And unfortunately, he is sad because the stone purportedly thrown by Bushiri against this wall has not bounced back on Bushiri directly, but had bounced off, you know, up the wall and on the innocent child that he was a kind of saying shouldn't have been brought into the mix-up. Now, my question is, does Bushiri has anything to do with this man? Does the fame and the wealth of Bushiri has something to do with, you know, a kind of understanding or pact in the spirit? You know, the video is too long, so I'm not going to play it all. Now, the man has a way of coining words that, you know, is shrouded in a kind of mystery that you need wisdom to unearth. Some of the things he said, you know, looks like Bushiri triggered off some sort of problems that was going to empty him, that was going to undress him, that was going to take away from him everything he had acquired. But then if he had endured that process of you know, in the previous video he told him about spiritual birth. So Bushiri ought to have endured that process of being whittled, of being, you know, emptied, of being stripped of whatever he possesses now. Then he would gain them in the future, and the thing would have been that his daughter wouldn't have died. But now, you know, in my place, there are some shrines that when you go there, if you go there, maybe you go there to borrow money, or somebody reports you there, you know, for those who know about it. Now, but what happens is that once that demon comes into the family of the person that offended the demon, now it can take anybody in the family, and once it begins to kill, now the truth is that they don't bury the person that demon or that idol kills, and it can start from the very offender. It will go to the wife, it will go to the children, now until a kind of spiritual birth is conducted for the family. That idol keeps on taking from the family. So you know, it is an experience that is rampant in my place, in my part of the world. I've not been to any spiritualist before. I don't even know how they look like. I mean, how their places look like. But I'm telling you, based on things that we know are happening, all right? Because once it happens and the chief priest of that idol comes around into the family, it is no longer a secret thing. People around will know it, and somehow it gets me worried that it seems like this man, you know, probably has brought his family into some sort of trouble that must require what this Sangoma here refers to, spiritual birth. Okay, well, I don't know so much, but let's just listen a bit more before I end the video.
You didn't listen at all. I told you on the 11th March, I told you Bushiri, I was doing the video, Bushiri. You know what? Some time ago, the day I do the video, some of your church members call me. They answered, they yell me. I say, hey, tell your master that his daughter, if he didn't take good care, his daughter gonna die. I will see that the soul of his daughter in the coffin. I tell that person name, the person is from South Africa there. He say is a special baby to Bushiri. The person say he's a special baby to. She call me. I say, hey, tell your master that I don't have his number. His daughter's soul is in the coffin. I have seen. Not that fake prophecy that sometimes they make it, the people make it in the church. No.
Which means that they made contact. But what I cannot ascertain is if the contact was official, whether it was a directive from Bushiri to call him and find out what he was saying. I wouldn't know that. But look at the mockery. Look at what the church has become. Look at a witch doctor, telling people in the church that his own prophecy is more accurate, that his was not the kind of fake prophecy that they make in the church, not in the shrine, but in the church. Look at what these people, these unenlisted people has turned the church of our Lord Jesus Christ to. Look at the mockery. Just look at the witch doctor. A witch doctor that hasn't got the spirit of Christ but the spirit of the devil is now mocking the church that his own prophecy is more accurate, not the kind of fake prophecy that they give in the church. Wow.
He's innocent child. He didn't know nothing on this earth. Don't sit down in your church and say that God, this one, Job, don't go and use Job. You are not Job. To say Job lose his things to do the no. If you say that, that means your wife also you go lose her. Bushiri, listen to me careful. Listen to me. My goodness, Capolatas. Bushiri, I say, listen me, see me. And my name is Koko Kubonsam. Your brother own. I'm telling you something, you didn't listen. You have to watch for my video. Well. Be serious. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not joking. I have said this and I will repeat it and I will repeat it again. Me, I know I will die soon. But
the authority in his voice is actually frightening. He said, I'm not joking. And you heard what he said, that if Bushiri ever compared himself to Job, that his wife is going to be the next, and beating his chest, he is talking about his own death. But that is not why I'm doing this video. But the kind of authority with which he speaks, to Bushiri, and ordering him to listen to him, you see, and that calls for seriousness, that calls for concern. He is not just speaking as somebody giving counsel, he's almost giving instruction. I want to submit that this person cannot be in love with somebody who has a contrary spirit to himself. He's having a different spirit. He cannot be in love with somebody who has another spirit that is not the same thing with his spirit. He cannot be talking to somebody who has the spirit of God the way he is talking to Bushiri now, because darkness and light cannot meet. I am not saying, and that you will never hear it from my mouth, that Bushiri sacrificed his daughter. Never ever in this life will I ever say such a thing. It is going to be barbaric. It is going to be out of this world. It is going to be terrible wickedness on my own part to suggest that he sacrificed his daughter. I'm not going to get involved with that. But as for what this man is saying, there is a nut to be cracked from the Proverbs. there was one he called Proverbs in the previous video where he was asking Bushiri, remember where you got your wealth from? And so he has carried it on over to this other video, and he's not mincing words. He's speaking with, as a man that has authority, that knows what he's saying. You know, to the extent that he told Bushiri to mark it on the wall that his wife was going to die if Bushiri ever disobeys him. And then I want to ask, if Bushiri is operating with the Spirit of God, how come that the man with the spirit of the devil is the one giving him instruction and telling him what to do? If Bushiri is prophesying with the Spirit of God, how come it is this man now who is not of Christ, but who is worshiping another God, that is telling him, and by extension mocking the church, that his own prophecy is more accurate than that of the church? And so he is foretelling Bushiri the future that is going to befall him if he fails to adhere to his instructions. All right, I don't know if somebody is getting me. This is my concern.
Bushiri, see some things. I say what? See some things. I say what? See some things. Bushiri, this is your brother, not I'm talking. I didn't use my 5 hands to hit my my heart, but now I'm using to hate it. Say, Bushiri, I'm warning you, I'm telling you this. This debt for your daughter go. Bushiri, put something according to, otherwise, you are beautiful baby. You are beautiful sweetheart. You are beautiful soul. You are beautiful rape cages. The here. Otherwise, you go lose. That means your wife, if you don't take good care, if you don't listen to me, you're going to lose your wife. Mark it on the wall. You also should mark it.
Well, I'm out of here. I would like you to be the judge of what you have seen. The video is longer than this. We got to the point where he gave Bushiri a particular psalm where he would read, and things he would do with the psalms, you know, so that he could stave off the dangers that are coming against Bushiri. And of important note is that this is not the only person that has prophesied doom about Bushiri's family. I just pray that God in his infinite mercy will save those around him. I just pray that God will give him the grace to whatever it is that may have happened. I ask for grace for him so that he would sort these things out in God's own way. Actually, let me tell you something. When we say that the devil is the accuser of the brethren, please do nothing that we warrant the devil accusing you. The devil is a liar, we know, but when it comes to accusing people before God, he doesn't lie. He accuses people of what they have done. Yeah, he accuses people of offense they had committed. He wouldn't go before God and form things that was not true, because God is all-knowing. So Satan cannot go before God and say, for instance, and tell God that I had killed a person or that I had gone to worship an idol, whereas I've not done so. He would always look for something that he was the person that masterminded it. He was the person that lured the child of God into committing that sin, and so would go before God and also tell God, look at the person you are proud of, look at the person you want to bless, look at the person you want to give a husband, look at the person you want to build a house for, look at the person that you are making good plans for. Look at what he just did. And the Lord is the covenant keeping God that he is, and so he would by no means break his word. So I want to pray that if indeed Bushiri had broken the hedge, inevitably serpent already has started biting. But I want to ask, I don't know how he started, I don't know his background, but all that suddenly we started hearing about him. But may it not be true that this man doesn't know him enough, so much as to be instructing him on what to do. But I will leave you to be the judge here. And I will leave you to also learn a lesson from here. Every time I talk to the upcoming charlatans, those who are looking at the flamboyant charlatans, those who are claiming to be pastors and clergymen in the house of God, but they are thieves and robbers. Please mind you, I'm not talking about Bushiri now. I'm talking in general. Charlatans, fake prophets, false prophets, those that the enemy has planted, and yet he is using them against themselves. And they've sold their souls to the devil, and coming out looks very, 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 very impossible to them. If you are making a plan to become one of them, you better look very well before you take that leap, because you may leap and fall and break your legs. But the good Lord give you understanding. And to the general viewers, I want to say from my heart, let the peace of the Lord dwell with you richly in the name of Jesus Christ. Till I come your way again, I remain your brother in the Lord. And I want to ask you, please subscribe to the channel, share the video, put down your comment in the comment section, and like the video. And shalom.